Joining us right now, we have one of the founding members of Crowded House on the phone from Greece, Neil Finn.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. How you going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Neil, we are very excited because you and Crowded House, you're kicking off U.S. tour right here in St. Augustine. What makes you decide where you start a tour?
Well, it gets put into a schedule and we look at it and go, yeah, that sounds great. So I can't honestly claim the credit for that, but we haven't been to Florida for a long time. I'm really excited we're getting back. And I know the venue there is a great venue. I've heard from a couple of people. So, yeah, it's a lovely way to start. I'm at Greece at the moment, so we've probably got about the same temperature, I dare say.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're used to the heat, and we're hopeful for a lovely night. And, yeah, can't wait.
Well, you're going to love the venue. The venue's amazing. And do you have time when you're here to like enjoy anything, or is it just picking up and going?
Well, we'll be enjoying the show, I'm sure. I don't know if we're getting there. We're getting there the day before. I don't know what we'll get to do. Maybe swim. There'd be water nearby, presumably, is there?
Oh, yeah. Just down the street is the beach.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. I guess it'll be pretty warm, the temperature at the moment. But, yeah. I'm always in for a swim.
And some great tacos. Great tacos down the street as well.
We love a taco too. A taco or two.
So you guys are coming to town. The show's August 29th at the Amp. Like I said, this is the first show of the new tour. And the new album, I got to tell you, Neil, I've been spending time with it because I wanted to get prepared for this interview. Right. It's called Gravity Stairs, and I'm kind of obsessed with it, man. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Yeah, well, we were obsessed with making it, so that's good to know. Yeah, it's come out the other side.
It's so authentically Crowded House, but it's also so 2024 and like an ethereal way that just, I don't know, it's so appealing, and it's like comfort with something that you've never had is very rare. So like when you hear a new song and it's comfortable, it's very bizarre, and that's what this album gave me.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good, amazing textures, I think, on the record that comes from, we've got a very rich tapestry now that we can create with Mitchell Froome on keyboards. My son Liam has got some amazing sounds coming out of his pedals and his guitar. So I think it's made the atmosphere of the band come forward, and on stage now we're really trusting each other. So we actually can get off the script quite a lot and getting quite jammy. And I don't think we're quite a jam band yet, but we might become one yet.
Isn't every band kind of a jam band at their soul, at their core?
Well, hopefully. Not all bands do jam, and certainly not on stage. We're getting to the point where we trust each other enough now where somebody goes off the program, everyone will leap onto it rather than stand there and go, what the hell's going on? So, yeah, that's a great point with the band. It only comes from lots of shows. And, so we can't wait to show that off to the good folk of St. Augustine.
What's it like working with your kid, man? That's got to be really cool.
It is. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, it's even on paper, it was obviously a good thing, but it's turned out to be a very rich partnership, and they brought songs to the fray. They've got such experience now as musicians, and we actually get on. We like each other. It hasn't created trouble in the family dynamic. In fact, in some ways, I think it's improved things. We have a genuine respect that's come at a professional level as well. So, and we can sing together like families do. There's a familial thing that you need to explain some things. You just kind of get in sync because you're in the family way.
Yeah, you guys kind of speak the same language. That's just part of living in the same house. That's awesome. The new single, one of the new singles, "Oh Hi," great song, by the way. It's the video is in support of the So They Can, which is. Can you tell us a little bit about this, because I've been reading up on it, and I think it's so amazing.
Well, they are an amazing organization, and it's become very successful at building schools and resourcing education for kids in places in Kenya and Tanzania at this point who haven't been able to access education. There's this amazing woman that I met many years ago, and I've been doing things for, and I've just got more and more deep into it. The song itself was inspired by these kids, created for them, and proceeds have gone to that, but it's also just a consciousness raising, and it's wonderful that you spotted that and noticed it, because it really is these kids. I made the video myself, and I got to know them all, these faces, and they're just really inspiring and amazing kids that we need in the world, and by supporting people like that, I think you get something back, as well. It's like it's a two-way street. They can inspire us, we can help to support them.
Yeah, I think it's great to be successful, but if you're not setting up the next generation for success, then what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point?
Well, that's right. And also it's great that a song can operate on two different levels. It's good for the band. Obviously we have a career that we are serving, and we want things to go well in that regard. But when a song goes out and it's actually serving two purposes, it just makes it feel much more soulful and substantial.
I think so. In the video, if you guys haven't seen the video, definitely check it out. It's such an interesting video. I love it so much, man.
Right.
You guys, as indicated by your accent, you're Australian, and I know.
Well, I'm New Zealander, actually.
New Zealander. Oh, it says Brisbane on your Wikipedia. Stupid Wikipedia. I knew better than to trust it.
Yeah, no, I don't trust Wikipedia. We lived in Melbourne for many years, so I have a great affinity for Australia, but I'm a New Zealander, in fact.
Kiwi. Is that a slur? That's not a slur, is it, calling you a Kiwi?
Not at all. No. It's a flightless bird. It has no wings, but it is our national bird.
So you guys, obviously island guys, and you started there, and then you moved on to bigger cities to try to. So when you came to America, what was like the big difference that you noticed in the music scene?
Oh, well, we were open up to many, many different things. I came first with Split Enz in 1980, and we had a song which was becoming a hit of sorts. I Got You at the time, and it was just an extraordinary experience to be in such a different culture. But we grew up, don't forget, with all of the American entertainment, music, TV, films. So a lot of it feels familiar, but to actually be around it in a 360-degree way is, it's a huge realm of senses change, and we sort of loved it. There's things about it that are quite daunting, and it's so huge, to get around the whole country and the distances you need to travel and the amount of cities there are. It's overwhelming at times. Many bands actually come unstuck from the sheer enormity of the task, but we kept it together. We still like each other.
Well, that's huge. Me and my wife are working on that. Yeah. I don't know if we'll make that. So you guys, you've got the new album, you got the tour coming up, and you've been doing this for a very long time. How do you still find the passion? Because these songs are still passionate. You know what I mean? This isn't go in the studio because you had to. I mean, I feel like real attachment from you guys and this music. So how do you keep that alive?
Well, it's just such a fascinating mystery, the whole way that music unfolds. And I feel very compelled, and always have, really, but even more than ever now. And, as you get a little bit older, you think, I've got so much more to do. So there's a certain urgency and intensity that takes over in the creative process. And perhaps in some ways it gets a little harder, but you have to work a bit harder. But the rewards is, when you've got a new song playing in your room late at night, and no one in the world's heard it except for you, and it's got a sort of a living, breathing heart to it. There's no other better feeling than that, other than the love of your family, I'm compelled by it.
Do you have? Is there a difference? Like, can you compare and contrast the feeling of wrapping up "Don't Dream It's Over" versus wrapping up "Oh Hi"? Is there a difference in when you listen to it, the final product for the first time?
In a funny kind of way, it's every time you write a song and you get it over the line and you finish it, there's a feeling like it's the best thing you've done. I mean, there's the odd one that you just never quite feel resolved about, but I don't finish songs unless I'm really committed to them. And then there's a huge pleasure in getting them over the line and finishing them. And I would say the same feeling I had with Don't Dream Us Over, I have with all of the songs that made the album. But obviously they don't all rise in the way that Don't Dream does. Some just seem to have a kind of a natural charm that you can't put your finger on. But, I have to be compelled. I have to be sort of fully engrossed to finish them.
I've been doing this for 26 years, Neil, and I don't know why some songs are big and some songs aren't. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Me neither.
It just is what it is. Yeah. But I
haven't figured it out.
I don't think anybody really has, or somebody would be much more, rich than they are now. It's crazy to think about how long you guys have have made this whole thing work, and just how well I just see such an evolution in your music. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's so huge. You know, I mean, like what's the point of doing it if you're not going to evolve?
Well, that's right. We're interested in what's going to be coming next always. I mean, we understand that some of the old songs have got a kind of a talismanic presence in people's minds, and we will play them quite happily. I love playing those songs still, but we're always interested in what's coming next. It's the thrill of the chase, as it were.
Yeah. There's stuff that you said doesn't make it, that doesn't make the cut. Where does that stuff go? Is that stuff you just keep for yourself, or is there like you just abandon it halfway? How does that work?
Sometimes it just sits in the vault, and you pull out there'll be one piece that was good and another piece that didn't quite make it, and you'll find the piece that worked and put it with another piece, and suddenly it'll inform a whole new song. So I never give up on all those old bits, and a lot of them have found their way out. You know, there's a song called "Fall at Your Feet," which we did years ago, and we had 3 different verses for it. We knew the chorus was really strong, and eventually the verse that came along and made the grade was something I wrote when I was 18 years old. So,
oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, there was, there's no telling when it's going to come back handy.
Music lives forever, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, that's right. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah, Neil, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, man. I am a fan. Like I said, the new album, Gravity Stairs. I'm very excited because I'll be listening to this thing just in the car while I'm working. It's really good. You guys are coming to St. Augustine, August 29th to kick off the tour, the first show of the tour. So you guys are gonna have all of the energy, all of the vigor, ready to go. And
we'll be up for it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And also the new album, you can buy it on vinyl at crowdedhouse.com. It's a limited edition blue vinyl, and it's very cool. Just a quick before we go, is it weird to you? You start on vinyl, you go to cassette, you go to CD, you go to MP3, and now you're back to vinyl?
Oh, it was a welcome return. I love the idea of vinyl. Looking at an album cover while you're, just the size of the image and the placing the needle down on the vinyl. It's got something very romantic about it, and I'm glad it's back. I listen to vinyl at home. I do listen to, some streaming stuff here and there, but I just find it's so much more satisfying somehow.
Yeah, I feel the difference between a CD and a vinyl is the difference between loving someone and being in love. That's how I feel about it.
Well, that's a good analogy. I have to think of my own analogy. I mean, I don't mind CDs either. In fact, there's people who would swear by them. We put them out. I wouldn't want anybody to feel like they're undervalued. I think things sound good on there, but vinyl does have a bit of texture and a bit of extra kind of dimension to it.
Well, you have to commit to vinyl. You know what I mean? Like a CD, you skip it. It's no big deal if you skip a track. But when you put a vinyl on, you really get the texture of the sound of the album, number one. And then also you're going straight to the next track. You're not skipping it, because finding a track on a vinyl, I don't care who you are, it's not easy.
Yeah, well, if you want to skip it, you've got to make sure you got a steady hand.
Exactly right. So, all right, Neil Finn from Crowded House. They're coming August 29th. Tickets available right now. I'm actually giving some away next week in the 3:00 hour, so make sure that you tune
Good
in.
On you.
Everybody, thank you so much, Neil, for coming by and talking to us and telling us about the show and stuff. We look forward to being there.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Take care.